Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, Chris, Stacy, and I are going to get into P-Valley Season 1, Episode 3. We learned some new, deeper information about some new characters, so we're going to get into that. We got some information about Gidget. We'll get to her. But let's start with Haley / Autumn Night. She's an alcoholic. She seems to be a functioning alcoholic to an extent. She seems to be working through the trauma of losing her daughter. We assume she must have died in the flood of Houston. So why has she not sought some other form of employment if dancing is too much for her? Thoughts?
Well, because a lot of jobs require a background check. Simply put, just straight up, and a big formal ID. And who's going to ask the least amount of questions? You working at a club. Whether that be as a bartender or whatever, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, she probably wasn't even expecting Uncle Clifford to even ask for ID. Just like, hey, if she got skill. And that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? So that's why it's clear she is talented when it comes to anything dealing with finances, computers, everything else. But she can't, who's not going to, if you're an employer, how are you not going to look into her background, But then that's where Uncle Clifford is more like, look, I'll look away if you say yeah, no T, no ID, you know what I mean? And before we go further, I would like to say, man, I love that I'm over at the DR right now in the background. This beautiful beach. I'm out here, so stay safe, everybody.
While Stacy and I are hanging out in the P-Valley, in the paint. Right. Stacy's at the paint.
People are watching this video and we're like, what's going on in the background? What is that? And why is there a shadow around here? There's a lot of...
We will get
no questions, please.
We're all these things. But Chris, you bring up a good point. She's proven herself that she knows about money. So, for example, why hasn't she said, now that she's established, if you will, with the management, why has she said, hey, let me work the books. Let me, do the money on the side. Like, if she's smoking weed, she's trying to get through what she's doing. She's drinking to get through what she's doing. But she just started this shit. Like, it ain't like she's a career dancer who don't know anything else. It's the opposite. It's just weird that she pushes herself to do something she clearly is not comfortable with, even though she has some aptitude, for it. But just too many times, it seems like this ain't the life that she wants.
Like Chris said, it's easy money. And then, like, I work in finance. You do have to go through a lot of background stuff to deal with other people's money. Nobody's going to give you a managing money job without background and screening and all that stuff. So, no.
All right, so she's going to stay on the pole. So she got the 9K. What's she gonna do with that? She gave a very menacing smile that this means something.
I don't know, man. You give me $9,000, I might not have. I don't know. That was a good smile.
That's a smile like we're about
you thought that was like a villain smile?
Yeah, like she's about to do some moves with this 9,000. Like, this means something. Like, I don't know why the smile is that big.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think she gonna. This is why I think she
gonna smile.
Huh?
I thought it was just a come-up smile.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just thought it was more like, say, yeah, these bitches thought I couldn't do it. Like, I thought it was just like one of those types of deal. It wasn't menacing, like, now I got $2,000, I can now take over the world.
Right.
I don't think it was anything menacing. And let's go with that theory, David. If that was a menacing smile, what would you theorize that she would menacingly do with that $10,000?
Again, that's my question. Like, why was it such a big deal that she's like, I'm like, what the fuck? She made $1,000. She's already made $3,000 just working the club that we saw.
Yeah.
But this 9,000 ain't.
Yeah, she don't have to sleep on the floor anymore. That's what it was. She doesn't have to sleep on the mattress on the floor.
That's all. 3 stacks. She easily could make 9,000. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't mean anything unless she can figure out that she's gonna wire more money. We don't know where the 9,000 came from. So going to the idea that she swindled some money from somewhere, maybe she's like, I can keep it going. Maybe that's what it is. But it's something more than I just got a $9,000. Is what I'm
saying. Yeah. If you start off with $9,000 and then having a stable employee, because she don't know what's going on with the club at the moment, or they're going down under. But you have $9,000 on top of you now having a job that seems somewhat stable, you're fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's how she's feeling right now. She's like, I don't have to work here for like more than a year and work so much up for tips just so I can get in a better apartment, and don't have to trick this man into going to a Waffle House just so I can eat. You saw she was eating like oh my God, it was my first meal I had in a couple of days because she couldn't afford. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing. Again, she's already made $3,000 that we saw. Right. How is she's like, I gotta wait. I don't know where my next meal is coming from. Like, there's something missing here. It don't make any sense. Like, she's not eating. She's drinking her ass off. Like, why is she acting like she don't know where her next meal is coming from? We gotta get more to that. It just seems confusing to me. Yeah. But anyway, her skills to gain access to a laptop. I was impressed with the work that she put into that to get to Andre's laptop. It made sense. Unlike Fatal Affair, if I can bring up a dumbass movie that didn't have a password for a computer.
I can't believe you saw that. I cannot believe you saw that.
I was like, I'm happy that she was like, this computer got a password and I can't crack it because I'm not a fucking hacker. Like, let me
I saw a picture of Nia Long like this.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a phone upside down like this. And I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. I can't. Yeah, that alone scared me off. I'm like, nope, I'm good.
I couldn't believe. I was like, at least the writers of this show realized that computers have laptops, and you're gonna need somebody. I'm like, they didn't figure it out in Fatal Affair, and she needed him to gain access. But once again, the writers want you to believe that these people who have confidential things going on put everything on their desktop with easy labels, so you know exactly what's in them. And I'm like, that's a lot.
I hate to say it, I kind of. I mean, all right, maybe you're better than me. I kind of do that. And because here's the deal. I don't think he really, it was a secret for folks not to know what's going on. Okay, we understand that. But did he really expect someone to just be on his laptop? Hell, if he realizes that no one's even in the realm of knowing the secret plans of any land, he would even if he left his laptop somewhere, I don't think he would even had to worry about it. You know what I mean? Other than that one stripper, which obviously we saw, knowing about it. I don't think he really thought to himself, holy shit, this is some top secret shit here. You know what I mean? Like, I need to safeguard this. I don't think he didn't think that anyone would even come at him like that. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I think he was so focused on the fact that he was about to go. He had to go get a condom. I want to acknowledge that I appreciate the fact they made an effort to be like, condoms are necessary when you're fucking somebody that you ain't married to, because like he's married, or you're cheating with somebody. I appreciate that. Okay. Also, then he gave her access to the computer because he was too focused on getting on the condom. He wasn't thinking straight. I get that. All right. So I'm just interested how let's put this in sequence. All right. She's giving this man nude lap dances. Mm-hmm. She's had phone sex with this man.
Yep.
She was about to have real sex with this man.
Yep.
But when she sees a picture of herself outside smoking a cigarette, all of a sudden she's like, this boy is going too far. And I need to step away from this dude.
Yeah, I don't think it was just because of that. I think she feels that she's afraid that anybody's going to find out the real thing. Just like the first time she realized she screwed up when she told him her real name, and he said her name again, Haley, in that room. She flipped out like, oh, I should have never told you that. Whatever. She's afraid whatever is in her past. When there was that one photo of her, she started, all her mind just kept thinking, I think at that moment, at least what I took it as, is, holy shit, so is he coming at me? Like, who is he? Who is he really? That he's randomly snapping a picture of me. And this was before we met. What is going on? Who is he? Is he involved with whoever my ex is? You know what I mean? I that's how I took it. I took it as just her paranoia, just like her being trapped in that car in the last episode during the car wash, and she just paranoid. Hell, I thought when she had that baby in her arms, and she was thinking, I was like, someone please grab that baby out of her arms. I was afraid she was even going to drop the damn baby. I was like, someone please grab the damn baby. She's freaking out in her mind, please.
We'll talk about that when we get to Mississippi, because I got some questions about her parenting skills and her home support. But Stacey, it seems like you wanted to add in.
I think it's obvious there's something in her past. I didn't really get the picture being that big of a deal, but I can kind of see where Chris is coming from. Like she's hiding something. And then when she was in the diner and they were telling that story and she started getting all weird, like I didn't get what the point of that was. Like she suffered from some type of PTSD.
Yeah.
And it gets triggered in random ways, and I still don't get it.
It's all thunder and water related. When they were telling the story, it was thundering outside, and she flipped out. Just like last week at the car wash. Anything to do with water, or at least a large amount of water, she flips out about. You know, so it seems that again that maybe goes back to the flood. Again, maybe she lost her daughter in the flood, and maybe that's what it is. So I'm like, does she even take a shower? Because she real worried about water. So I want to know how bad it gets. Like, maybe she's a whole bad. I don't know, but it's like I was like, she got something going on with that water. Anyway,
hand sanitizer or something. I don't know.
Hand sanitizer. Maybe that's what she does. You know, and maybe she stank. You know, that's
her face.
Maybe Andre's like, girl, why are you funky? She's like, I'm scared of water. I got a lot of things going on with water. Anyway, Mercedes Sunday has a daughter. As we discovered in this episode, Tarika, who's also the captain of the dance team, because dancing's in the genes, as we saw on Instagram, and at her house, her
I guess technically her aunt's house, I think.
Aunt's house, I guess we'll say that.
Yeah. Her father's sister's house, basically.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So that adds to the complexity of what Mercedes is dealing with. And then it's interesting, like a lot of parents, but particularly I would imagine parents who have jobs that may not be socially acceptable, you know, she's trying to tell her daughter not to be what she is, you know, and that's hard, you know, I would imagine. Because she's like, I learned it from watching you, you know, type of shit. So that's kind of interesting. Who else knows that that's her daughter? Who else knows she has a daughter? Like, is that public knowledge?
That's a good question. Other than maybe, I would imagine her own mother knows. And I would imagine maybe, you know, her day one, maybe Uncle Clifford. Since Uncle Clifford knows all the secrets. So, oh yeah, sweetheart. I was like, I keep all the secrets, as he always says. I would not be surprised. That dude is everywhere. He knows everything. Okay. Yes. So yeah, you know, so I don't know. So if you're talking about the team, something tells me that maybe the team doesn't know. I would imagine the dance team doesn't know, because here's the deal: she's captain. Her daughter just happens to be captain. You know, and you know how kids can be cruel and like look at that some type of way. Be like, oh, you're the mother. It's like you're the captain. You just happen to be your mother's child. You know what I mean? Mm. So yeah, especially with her making that one remark. I guess after doing it, say why you do it? Like what's the big deal? You do it. I was like, ooh.
But look at her response. It's interesting what her response.
I make money off of it.
Y'all what I'm saying,
y'all giving it up for free. I was like,
is this the lesson? Is this the lesson? Like, baby, if you're gonna take it off, don't do it for free. Like, I'm like, is that really the lesson
you took from it?
Yeah. That's what she said. I mean, that's not interpretation.
What she said, but that's not what she didn't mean it all in the same respect in every single sentence that she said it in.
Stacey?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, girl, when you grow up, when you're old enough to do it, if that's what you want to do, you get paid to do it. Like, don't do this bullshit for free, you know? And then she tried to give her the scared straight message, you know, at her aunt's house, you know, saying, you know, she might end up getting raped, I guess, or just being manipulated, I think. I don't want you to go far. So, you know, but it's like,
I felt like that was her. I thought she was talking about herself, like, without her saying it happened to her. She was saying 13, because she was about her same age, saying, and then you'll be in the bathroom, 13 years old, having a man bend you over with your pants down to your leg. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I mean, well, no, probably not. I take that back, because the way they were talking about her father, her baby's father, it seemed like she had respect for him.
Yeah.
So maybe not, but maybe she was also just saying I was very young and dumb, had you or whatnot. I don't want you to be in the same circumstance. But yeah, and then she just took a step further, like you said, and saying, and get raped. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, hey, that's one way to scare. These kids, You got to go. I hate to say it nowadays.
You got to go hard.
With the shit they post, you got to, man. You got kids out there trying to put like have an OnlyFans page and stuff. Are you kidding me? You got to put the fear of God in them.
It's just really Stacey. What are your thoughts?
She was going to the extreme, but I think she was saying that if you're sexualizing yourself, men are going to look at you that way. They're going to expect you to behave that way. Yeah. And so you're going to end up in a situation, whether you want to do it or whether you don't want to do it. Like, she may feel like, I think a lot of young girls, when they're kind of growing up and they start blossoming, so to speak, they think that's what they want until they're in that situation. And then it's like, oh, what did I just get myself into?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So she's just trying to say, hey, you know, it's not all it cracks up to be, basically.
And then,
I
was gonna move on to Mercedes and her mom, Patrice. So
can I say one more thing with this topic? I guess I had to give Mercedes a huge props when I guess right before they got in trouble and had to do 50 toe touches that turned into 70. She got homegirl thought it was cool to be like, you're denying us of our sexual freedoms and whatnot. But best line in the entire episode. Fuck your feminism. I was like, yo, I love yo. That was yo. The way she like, I looked at her, was like that. Said, this is a public sexual expression, and you are denying us of this. And she's like, man, fuck your feminist. I was like, okay, Mercedes. I was like, that's why you're my favorite character, Mercedes. That is why. All right, carry on.
Like, hush your mouth. You don't got the independence to put your ass out there on.
I love Mercedes. I love her, man. I love her.
So then she's dealing. So the mother story is evolving, right? So now we see that, you know, her mom was manipulated the same way she tried to manipulate her daughter to get the money, and her mom basically like tried to use the money to get into the pulpit, and that didn't work out for her because the pastor was like, Bible say you don't get into the pulpit, like that's a man's job. So the question is that going to help her motivate her to give her Mercedes back her money? Like, will she be like, well, it was for nothing, right? Like, took the money from my daughter, we got the loan, but this ain't helping me getting where I need to go, so I'm gonna give her my daughter back her money. Like, is that gonna help her return the money like she should?
Or did she already get it already? Because I know she said, I'll have it for you tomorrow. And then it just seemed like throughout the episodes, it seemed like following the next day or so. So I don't know if it was just implied that now she got the money because she said, you know what I mean? And that was probably the reason why she got passed over as far as being in front of the pulpit, because low key, you ain't get as like after me trying to try to convince your own daughter to help us out, that money's gone.
I know. I think that would have been a conversation. They're gonna want to show that her mom is, you know, honest enough to return the money, or even that if you would have confronted her about taking the money out, they would show that. That would not be something that would be implied. Cause that's a big deal. Because 20 grand is a lot of money, and that church needs the money. Period. Right. So that is going to be a big deal whether she actually gives the money back to her or not. So I think they would show that. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the fact that her mom wanted Mercedes to justify what she's going to do with her own money. Like, what do you need that money for? What you gonna do with it? It's mine. Yeah. Don't fucking ask me what I'm gonna do with my money. Like it's my money. So just give it back to me. Don't worry about what that irritated me a lot. Yeah. You know,
I knew that was coming though. I knew that was coming because that's the type of questions you ask somebody when you don't want that money to go anywhere except staying in your own pocket. So so that was for her. It was a good defense. Like, yeah, just my own stripper daughter might use it on some bullshit or whatnot. I can guilt her and just ask her straight up, like, what you want to use that money for anyway? Like, you know what I mean? Like, say the Lord says, and I was like, oh, I saw that coming too. I just thought she was gonna quote the Bible. I just knew it.
So it's interesting that she doesn't use her granddaughter as leverage. Like, you out here stripping, what are you doing for Tarika? Like, how is this gonna help? Like, she never, like, in the 2 episodes, she's never brought that up. You know, they'll be like, what you doing about your daughter? Even when she knows that now she knows Mercedes is going to use the money for the dance studio and like she's actually going to retire. And look, I thought her mom was happy to hear that she actually was going to get out. But I think somewhere in her mind, she's like, well, then where am I going to get more money from? Because she's at the dance studio. She ain't making stripper money, which means I can't use her to leverage to help the church.
Yeah, her mother's so complicated. Her mother on the surface does not want her want to be known as the mother of a exotic dancer. At the same time, they use like that's the revenue. You know what I mean? So it's like it you know. So that's why she also didn't shame her either. You're right. She didn't praise her, but she also didn't shame her. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense?
Yeah.
You know, she's like, oh, okay. It's like, oh, you trying to be real now? Like, you know, she just asked that question, and she just kind of kept it going. She was like, okay, you know.
Cool. Stacey, your thoughts?
I just don't get the mother angle. Like, I get the sanctimonious church lady, but you're using her for the money that she's done all these evil things to get, and you're justifying it. Like, just give her the money back. Like, are they good? Does she have the access to just go get it, or is she gonna have to do something stupid to get the money?
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out what angle they're trying to go with this.
And like I said, she's the treasurer, so can't she just go pull out the money, or is she gonna need the pastor's permission? You know what I'm saying? Like, what access does she have? As a treasurer, I think she probably has the most access, minus the pastor. But that's a lot of money. I can't believe the pastor not knowing 20 grand has left the church, and him not noticing that. Like, that's gonna be a conversation. Even whether he signs off initially or not, she's gonna have to talk to him about that.
Well, sometimes she's gonna give that money back to her daughter because she's got passed over to the pulpit. So it was like one of those things. She was like, okay, well, screw you. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the pastor ain't no dummy. The pastor knows where that money came from. So what's the pastor gonna do? What, the pastor gonna shame her for giving her money that he didn't have himself? You know what I mean?
He can kick her out the church. The church means a lot to her. I mean, he could definitely be like,
access to anything.
Yeah. So it could be consequences.
Give it back. I mean, it's in the church bank account. It's the church's money on paper. He can just say, "I'm not giving it back to you."
See, so we gotta see how all that works out. Mississippi, she's back at it. Sad again. So apparently she got abused by her man, whoever this man is. And her wrist was hurt. Diamond, there to protect her while she's in the VIP, giving her first aid with pepper and alcohol. All right. And I thought that was kind of cool. This is the second time he's done the whole "I'ma watch her while she's in VIP" thing. So clearly he felt like his job is to make sure Mississippi in particular is taken care of wherever she goes. But then my question is, who's on the door when Diamond's in the back with Mississippi? Because I
think I remember seeing at least three. There was like three bodyguards. There's one that had like braids or whatever. I mean, obviously he doesn't have a name. But
all right.
Yeah. I remember seeing at least two other guys. When matter of fact, in the first episode, it was Diamond and another guy standing next to him with his arms crossed. And then this past episode, there was like another guy I'd never seen before, but he apparently was there too.
So Mississippi has two regulars. And we met the other one today, the anesthesiologist, who sees people sleep all day. So he likes to see Mississippi lay down with the rose while she acts like she's asleep. And I'm like,
what is wrong with people, man? First, you got Corbin with the whole slave mentality crap.
Right.
He's the son of a maid. And now this, what?
He has a sleeping beauty fetish. And then I was thinking, well, maybe he likes to see dead people because she's laying there with a rose on her chest, right? So I'm like, but he's not a mortician, you know what I'm saying? He's an anesthesiologist. So he's used to seeing people sleep, not dead. But I was just like, there's something wrong with this, man. You know what I'm saying? But at least he ain't doing nothing crazy to her, I guess. But that's why that's why Diamond's there, to ensure like it don't go too far. I guess.
Yeah, well, the rose was Snow White. So when Snow White was asleep, she had a rose on top of her.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's basically. So I looked at him, I was like, oh, I'm your Prince Charming, and I'll give you a kid to wait. Well, we ain't see that. Not to mention, Diamond wouldn't let that shit happen. Like, no touching.
No.
Like,
no. That man get his ass whooped.
But speaking of which, all right. Did anybody else have to watch this episode with subtitles on by chance?
Yeah.
Especially when DJ Never Scared was talking. Yeah. So man, if you put that salad, man, you get them two down on that thing, man, you gonna get that thing crump down. Even Lil Murder had to be like, you speaking a whole nother language, cuz.
I was told.
Mississippi.
What's up?
Welcome to Mississippi.
I was totally.
I know, right? What the hell?
Totally lost,
bro.
I was totally lost.
I literally had to juggle through my subtitles. Like, okay, what the fuck? Like, what's he saying? And I had to rewind. I'm like, something about salad, and then he ain't put enough spices. You gotta mix the spices. And then I was like, okay, at least I'm not the only one. Lil Murder is from the area, and he don't even know what the hell he's saying either.
I was totally lost on that. But
he said, "Is that Frisso? Is that Frisky, or is that?" I was like, "What the hell does that even mean?" He said, "It was Frisky." He's like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "I don't know what Frisky means, but I know that ain't good." Yeah, it was romaine. He said Frisky or romaine.
Yes.
Lettuce and like.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he said romaine, and he said some other type of lettuce.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're romaine," and he was like, "Man." Like a lower level, and then you have like buttercrust, and then you have, different types of lettuces. And so he was like, he wasn't gourmet lettuce. He was just like the average middle of the road lettuce.
They need to start putting some annotations on the bottom to being like, when this person brings up stuff like this shit, it means this. I mean, hell, I can't even imagine. Yo, can you imagine a white person who like might be like living in like New York, like in the suburbs or whatever, watching the show, getting into the show, and they're like, I love the show, but I have no idea what the fuck they're saying. It's like, what's a black and mild? Like all this shit. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't put that on the same level as the music to salad, comparison. Cause I know what the hell they were talking about with the music. All I got from that was Murder ain't there yet. Like he still needs to get his shit together, and Never Scared, once he gets out of high school, apparently can help him get there. Because he picked him up from a private school, like when we drove to school. So he's probably a senior in high school, is what I'm thinking. I don't think he's going for college. But anyway, Mississippi. I want to get to Mississippi's child care situation. So once again, she brings the baby to the club. All right, and then she hands her to a drunk Autumn Night. I'm like, you just saw her take a shot, and how do you just hand your baby to her? And then I'm like, where's your other kid? She has another kid. Yes, she has 2 kids. This is her second kid.
Yeah, no, but she brought up what happened with your other kid. She said her other kid's staying with her mother's. She said in the last episode.
No, she said at times she was saying both the kids were there because she was working, but then she had to bring one there. She has 2 kids, but the other kid, you don't know where the other baby's at.
I could have sworn. Okay, what was the conversation she had with Uncle Clifford then about her other kid then?
So her other kid, she was saying. So first episode you're talking about, right?
So, yeah. Well, I thought it was the last episode. I don't know.
No. So first episode, she brought the baby there. He's like, "Why is the baby here?" She's like, "I just had the baby." She just got off maternity leave. She never really gives the name or location of the first baby. I assume it was with the baby daddy, but I'm like, then why why is this baby the one you got to bring with you to work?
New baby, and when you're breastfeeding, you kind of want to be there with the baby. Versus an older child, you can kind of leave the kid somewhere else.
And then they do say like that first year especially is being with them is the most important. You know what I mean? I know, Dave. I know your eyes is like that's some bullshit. I'm just saying it's just
all right. I'm saying she could have pumped 1, 2, or she could brought the. I didn't see no breastfeeding going on. That's my other point. If it was because she needed to breastfeed, like if they could have did that. I'm just saying like. If you were taking care of one, I took it as her home situation is fucked up and she can't leave the baby at home. Like she's worried about leaving the baby with her baby daddy if he's even around. But I'm like, where's the other kid though? So I'm like, if you got it
was with her mother. She said, yeah, I remember her saying the same was with the mom.
All right. So I was kind of getting into that. And again, is Diamond gonna do anything about her boyfriend at some point? If we get into that.
But speaking of boyfriends, guess who got a boyfriend? You were asking about this last episode. Like, I don't have much information on Gidgets. Got that white girl magic. I was like, I love that line.
It would have made sense if her boyfriend was black.
I know, right? Yeah, when she said that, I was like, yo, okay, she got a black boy. I'm like, man, you can't call that white girl magic. White dude?
You got a white dude.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
I was like, what? And then so Gidget, so the little lines that Gidget got. We get an indication that she's dating the oxy dealer that's working with Uncle Clifford. He finally gets from Houston, I guess, and gives Uncle Clifford her cut. It's supposed to be her cut of the money from moving the oxy. Is that gonna get her out of debt? I doubt it, but I mean, we can see how that goes. her mother is a stripper. Gidget confirmed that her mom's a stripper because she said her mom was giving her advice about hair, but strippers should have different forms of hair. And her boyfriend asked, "Are you taking these drugs for your mom?" So it could be, if they bother to get into her backstory, it could be her mom's is an addict, and that's why she's not dancing, now. And Gidget has to help take care of her. Maybe. Yeah. Andre Watkins, his story starts to expand. We hear that he's actually he's married to Brittany, is his wife's name, which did not stop him or Autumn from getting butt naked. And so whatever. And then and he's also
this was complicated, whatever the hell that meant.
Whatever, man.
Because the fact you're meeting another woman and you don't even bother to take your ring off tells me, like, what does that mean? Like, most men, you would imagine if a man.
That's what that means.
Huh?
Well, there's a certain I've had married men say that it's a magnet for some women, that you are married, that you are attached, and that some married men are easier to trick off on you.
Yeah.
Because they have a separate life and they want to keep you separate. So they're like, okay, I'm going to keep her happy so she can keep her mouth shut. So some women go after married men. So they don't hide it.
He just seemed kind of shaky when she brought it up. The funny thing, I mean, he never lied, though. That's the thing. He never lied. He could have easily just been like, she's deceased. He could have just went that route. He could have been like, she's deceased, or we're about to have a divorce. But instead, he chose, I said, yeah, it's a complicated relationship, which I'm thinking like, oh shit, like it makes me believe him. Because you had two easy outs. His out could be deceased or divorce. I forgot. I've always been forgetting to take this damn thing off. It's no.
What you, Stacey?
Not complicated other than she's in Atlanta, he's in Mississippi. That's the complication. And he's horny and she's right here. That's the complication.
I agree with Stacey. Like, I mean, the word complicated just leaves it open. So in the event, that he has to tell her some more shit, to be like, no, she's a terrible woman. She's a money grubber. I just got to get rid of her. I'm like, that's standard. That's standard. And again, he's visiting. I mean, he's visiting home though. So again, his godfather is Mayor Ruffin. So he's coming back home. So at some point, Brittany might show up. And how's that gonna look? So then we find out that the casino deal. So Mayor Ruffin and Andre are trying to work the casino deal, and the Pank is a major component of this deal. So it's like, how is the mayor and Andre going to get the Pank from Uncle Clifford? And now that Uncle Clifford knows, and he's trying to blackmail or something Andre, how's that? What's that going to turn into? Which I think is kind of interesting.
I feel like he's going to get it easily at the moment. At the moment, they're $55K in the hole. He has no leg to stand on unless Clifford makes some moves, or if anything, they might offer him out and be like, hey, look, not only will I pay your $55K, but I give you that plus another $2 million to get your asses out of here. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's going to be his first offer. And then just be like, I'm going to just give you $2 million, but guess what? I could just take your shit anyway. You haven't paid your bills in almost a year.
I mean, they can literally take it. No money on the property. They're doing drugs out of the property.
Mm-hmm.
They can just shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah, and what can Clifford do? I know Clifford's all about, like, trying to be all nosy, but I'm thinking, what can he do unless – the only thing I can think of is if he has dirt on the mayor. Like, got pictures of him doing something crazy. Other than that, I don't think, because Corbin obviously doesn't. He probably got all kinds of stuff on Corbin, but Corbin announced, already knows he's a freak. So good luck with trying to get him, to turn. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's the only way you can really get the mayor off. Like, it's just like catch him in an uncompromised position doing something that he's not supposed to do, and then blackmail him, be like, I keep my club, and you move that casino over here, and do not take this land over here. You know what I mean? Same time, he wants a casino. Clifford wants a casino. He just don't want the Pink to be taken away in favor of the casino, because he knows that casino being right across from the Pink would help his business, tremendously. You know, so
Major Ruffin. So you talking about what Uncle Clifford could get, on him. So she could, find out and try to black him over the fact that he's working with the Kyle brothers. You know what I'm saying? That like he's giving them he's ensuring that they get a $6 million payment for their property because they're the ones that helped him get elected. You know what I'm saying? One of the brothers is in charge of the city council. So they're secretly trying to get this casino deal passed and then start building it, for that. So that's not public knowledge. That's why the casino is technically supposed to be a secret, and I'm not sure how that is when they're walking around trying to buy a property. And then we can see how that works. And then you bring up Corbin. So we get more. So Corbin and Uncle Clifford clearly have a long history together. And what kind of history is that? Like, what other secrets does he know about Corbin? What kind of relationship did they have? Because it almost looked like she was flirting with him out there next to the cotton machine. And I'm like,
with the umbrella, with that, those outfits, man. I'm mad she look like the chicks from back in the 1920s and whatnot. The whole I declare. We're in the red. I'm like, really? And she's on the cotton field too? Like, bruh. I was like, bruh. I was like, really, bruh. I was like,
and then she said, I like how she said, so the son of the maid is keeping the plantation going as he sends her run the cotton machine.
He said, you might want to get some sunscreen because I can't have you be black on us. I was like, damn. I was like, yo, that's some real shit. I was like, that's fucked up, but some real shit. And the irony of him picking cotton. God damn. There's a lot of horrible parallels in this show. Jesus.
And he's all about the slave history. Like, it's like he wants to know who he is. So I'm like, so was he raised by his mom? Was he raised by somebody else? I thought maybe Uncle Clifford and he had the same mom. And I was like, no. I was like, it's something else. But I was thinking maybe they have a very close tie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So it can't just be that they went to school together. Like, it feels like they have each other's back and each other's secrets. So I'd be interested to see how far it goes with that. And as we brought up last week, if Uncle Clifford's back is against the wall, he can get Corbin to pay the $55K to get them get him into the black, so he doesn't have to sell his property. I don't know if eminent domain is a thing that the mayor could use to take the property. But if it comes down to it, maybe he could do that. But I think if Uncle Clifford can expose the casino deal publicly anyway, he can kill the deal if it turns to the fact they're going to try to take the club from him. And he may not get the casino, but at least he gets to keep the club. Maybe they can try that route.
Actually, and I didn't even think about, okay, as you were talking, I was actually about to disagree with you until I remember one part of the conversation that Andre had with Godfather, with the mayor. And it goes back to the city vote, right? So obviously this says, yo, those Bible thumping voters out here, like, they vote for, like, they're going to vote this to hell. And he wants this to be avoided all by, at all possible levels by having it just stay with the police and just kind of going through the structures where it bypasses the voting, right? That can't happen. You can't bypass the voting if, like, not only is the media talking about it, but then people start to say, hey, look, we know this is coming. We need to vote on this shit. You know what I mean? So that could be a part of the leverage, now I think about it, that Clifford can use against him. To be like, you know what? Like y'all don't want this to be public. I can make this public, and that casino ain't going up because now it's going to have to go to a city vote. They ain't going to, it sounds like other than the people in that direct area, everybody else, they ain't for that. They ain't for that casino.
So anyway, that's the show. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and like the video and comment on the video and share the video. Let us know why you watch P-Valley, why you watch us talking about P-Valley. What else you want us to review? We'll try to get to it as best as we can. And we will see you again next week for episode 4.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
I'm going to enjoy this beach, y'all. Bye.